Hello and welcome to the Halftime Report here on Bear Football, part of the Barroom Network. John Buffone alongside Danny Shimon. The Bears tied 10-10 with the Lions. Not as explosive as last week, but they end the half on some fireworks. An incredible run by Justin Fields. Everything kind of fell apart, but in true Justin Fields fashion, he was able to pull a rabbit out of his hat and score a touchdown, the tying touchdown, and we are tied at 10. Danny, what do you think of the first half?
Yeah, it's a battle of the two juggernauts here, right? Offensively,
Yeah.
we thought some fireworks here, but obviously, both offenses had some bright spots and then some not so bright spots. And in terms for me, I mean, like the Bears offensively, they've killed themselves. 3 penalties there. 2 or 3 of them, maybe all 3 of them, were kind of questionable there.
Questionable.
That first one on Braxton Jones, a holding, or really it doesn't look like a holding. It looked like a BS call to me. That wiped out a first and goal run by Montgomery, and then they go back 15 yards there, and that was it. Just for that, they got the field goal out of that one. So again, it's just that the Bears are moving the ball offensively. The one thing concerning is the lack of the big plays in the passing game. I know there were a couple plays there, one to Pringle, one to Mooney there, converted some first downs, but where's Claypool? I expect to see more of a bigger presence from him today, especially with N'Keal Harry not being active, no Velus Jones. I assume that Claypool will have a bigger role in the offense. It looks like Herbert's got more carries so far in the first half than Montgomery. So it's just a little bit off kilter there offensively. But then obviously Justin Fields makes, what he does the best, right? Takes a play that, could have broken down for a sack and gets out of that and then just trucks that defender in the end zone. And then, I'm sure everyone in Chicago is holding their hearts in their hands when you saw Fields take that hit. But then the defender gets the ones get hurt.
Worse of it, yeah.
Yeah.
So
defensively,
go ahead.
Defensively, I don't know what you think about defense, but I mean, again, no pass rush, right? I saw a couple of stunts, a couple of loops, some games up front, but again, not getting pressure. Run defense not being, much of a presence there. The only one actually had a presence in the first half defensively was the rookie Jack Sanborn. Love the way he's been coming down with his run fits, being aggressive in the hole, and also then taking down and chasing a running back there for a loss of yards. But again, 3rd and 16, 2nd and 14, easy conversions for the Lions. Defense not able to get off the field.
Yeah, and they started off their first defensive effort. We thought we saw some pressure there. Thought things might be changing a little bit. But what did you see from the defensive side of the ball? Still not getting any pressure, and the Lions are able to carve them up. And whenever it's 3rd and 14 or 3rd and long, whatever it is, there's still wide open holes in that zone that Jared Goff's able to locate. What have you seen defensively?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, 3rd and 16, easy conversion. 2nd and 14, easy conversion. The couple of times, and I got to go back, take a look at the tape, but a couple of times where they actually brought a blitz, Thomas both times got his hands up and deflected the ball. They brought some pressure on Goff. So, I mean, like, again, you're not a team that's going to get there with your front four. I know that's your base, that's your philosophy, but you're going to have to mix things up. You're going to have to bring pressure. And if you're going to get burned on 3rd and 16 and 2nd and 14, might as well just bring an extra guy and see what you can do.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to be able to, if you're giving up that much of a hole in the zone anyway, at least try to get a sack, try to rattle Goff, try to maybe get an interception, a fumble, anything. Because if you just keep doing what you're doing, you're going to see them just continue marching down the field.
So, if you're aggressive, you make things happen. You may make Goff rush his feet, rush his throw. Anything could happen if you could get burned too. I mean, you could get burned as well, but you're getting burned just in there in zone anyway. So might as well just try something. And I'm not saying every single 3rd down, but mix things up, trying, again, disguise your coverages and all that stuff. But you got to bring some pressure. You got to bring an extra defender because you're just not getting off the football field, and you got to do that.
Yeah, and on the other side of the ball, the halftime stats, Justin Fields, 5 of 8 for 51 yards. Also ran the ball 8 times for 69 yards and a touchdown. Like you said, you thought maybe you'd see Claypool get a little more involved in this game. They tried to get the ball in his hands once, but haven't gone overly vertical yet. Now we know that Getsy and this coaching staff likes to really take their time in doing things, and they like to move things along relatively slowly, and they're on their own system, and they don't tend to break from that. But do you expect in this game for them to come out with some adjustments in the second half and go a little more vertical, or is this just going to be a slow work in progress for the rest of the season?
Yeah, the one thing that the Lions have done is, unlike the other couple of opponents, is they're not playing a guy back there in terms of like a security blanket, a guy that's just spying Justin Fields. So what they're doing, they're dropping an extra guy in coverage, or they're extra bringing the extra guy, so that they're bringing a little more pressure on Fields. Again, those couple holding penalties on Braxton Jones was awesome pressure. So maybe he doesn't feel comfortable in terms of they won't be able to give him some time to get those deep shots down the field. But you got to try something. That's why for me, it's got to keep pounding that football, keep pounding that rock, get those defenders sucked up inside on that play action, and now you take your deep shots. But I agree, John, you got to go deep. If you don't scare defense that you're going to at least take a chance at going deep, whether it's Mooney, whether it's Pringle, whether it's Claypool, you got to at least take a couple of shots downfield so the defense knows, hey, if we're not on our X's and O's, this team could take us deep and hit a big one on us. So that's the thing. You got to put that fear in the defense.
A lot of conversation going on in the chat room about the defense, and Rock Davis said the secondary can't cover that long, and Williams is doing nothing to help the defense, and that's
Right.
That's true. You can't be expected to cover your receivers for 7, 8, 9 seconds. Meanwhile, your front forward just laying on their back, or they can't get any pressure. So it's not as much as an indictment on the secondary at all, as much as it's just there's no pressure at home. Any quarterback who's in the NFL, if they get that much time in a clean pocket, they're gonna find the throws. They're gonna find the open spaces in the zone. Are they not?
Right, exactly. I mean, I don't care if you can have all all pros back there in the defensive backfield. If you got a quarterback that's 7, 8 seconds back there to throw a football, find somebody. You're going to find somebody, especially in the NFL. These are top-notch talents here, athletes on both sides of the football. And for me, the defensive backfield is not the problem. It's even with I think Jalen Johnson started the game, but I think I saw him on the sidelines. He may have missed a couple of reps there. He's dealing with an injury. Even with Vildor starting quarter not playing today, I think defense held up. The backfield held up pretty well. I mean, Lamar Jackson did have a holding call in the end zone, but he's a guy who's been on inactive the last couple of weeks, and now he's getting some playing time. So, but yeah, you can't do anything without the front four. If the front four is not generating any pressure, you're not getting pressure on the quarterback. I don't care how great of a defensive secondary you have, you're not going to be able to maintain that your position there. So.
I saw you tweeted something about that holding call that was called on Braxton Jones early. Now he's having a rough half. He's gotten some penalties called on him, but the first one just looked like it was very ticky-tacky, very phantom. Like it was engaged, and then there was basically a scrum going on, and everyone's going in every direction, and somehow the ref was able to zoom in, basically hone in on what Braxton was doing and throw a flag. And for this offense, those are drive killers because like we said, the margin for error is very slim right now, at least. So those can be drive killers. Those can be touchdown killers. And what'd you think about those first half?
Yeah, the first one was a real killer because that one was a first and goal. Montgomery had converted a first and goal there. It would have been a Bears ball inside the 5. And then they push him back 10 yards. And that one was just like you said, the play action and play flow was going to the right. And it looks like Jones was just kind of pushing his guy along there. I mean, you got to use your hands. I didn't see any full grasp jersey. I didn't see him turning the defender. I didn't see him really, I've seen bigger egregious in terms of holding not being called, and that was called again just ticky-tack five. I didn't think that was a offensive holding call, and again unfortunately wiped away a first and goal for the Bears. So yeah, those are the ones that are really, even the one on Pringle was really close. I mean, I'm like it's another one. I think that wiped away another first down, I believe, or might have been a nice game by Justin Fields there too. So it's just one of these things where, there's another one. I think they call a face mask. Somebody, was it one of the defenders? There was no face mask. He had his hand on the side of the helmet and kind of turned, but he didn't actually put his fingers in the face mask and yank the face mask. So, what are you going to do? It's unfortunately the referees we saw last week, right? They sent out a saying, hey, that should have been a pass interference, but what can you do? It's
yeah.
Over
and I mean,
move on.
Yeah, I don't usually blame the entire loss on the refs, but it is frustrating when you see that. So it's part of it, and hopefully the Bears can catch a break as the game progresses. You briefly talked about the run game. Both Khalil Herbert and David Montgomery both have 5 carries. Herbert for 30 yards, David Montgomery for 19. One thing you spoke of this week on my show was the fact, like, this offense is fun, it's great, it's exciting, but let's not forget that you have a really solid run game too. Is that something that you're still a little weary of?
Adamant about it. I mean, we us fans and analysts, we all get excited about the big plays, the passing offense, but the base of this offense is all built off of, predicated off that offensive rushing attack, and you cannot forget that. You cannot get rid of that. You got to keep pounding the rock. For me, it felt like Herbert had more carries than just 5, but the numbers are 5 carries apiece. But Herbert was more effective in terms of getting around the corner, some nice cutback vision, be able to kind of let the action kind of pass by him, and then find that cutback lane and gets back inside, gets about 5-6 yards. So Herbert so far has been pretty more active and a little bit more productive. And even that kickoff return where he
Right.
returned it back to the 49-yard line was a nice big play there as well. Unfortunately, the Bears couldn't take advantage of it. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's just continue pounding the rock, and then that's when you've got the Lions kind of reeling and looking for the run. Then you do the play action, and now you got a deep shot downfield to a Mooney or a Claypool, wherever gets downfield open.
And we talked about Justin Fields being 5 for 8 in the air. All 5 of those passes going to 5 different receivers. Mooney
I like
with a
that.
catch, Pringle with one, Kmet, Pettis, Claypool. I guess Claypool's technically was a reception because he kind of tossed it forward. It wasn't exactly a
I don't get that stat.
it's still a forward pass, I guess, by the lay of the law.
But as a fantasy
Yeah.
player, I do take those either catches or passes.
Eat it up. Yeah. Hey, doesn't matter. Stats are stats when it comes to fantasy. So that being said, they're obviously spreading the ball around. That's probably been a point of emphasis the last few weeks as we've seen spreading the ball out a little bit more. But who on this receiving core do you want to see kind of step up in the second half and take charge? And maybe, like we said, we talked about Claypool getting more vertical. You'd like to see Darnell Mooney get a little more involved here, but also, Cole Kmet's, becoming pretty consistent whenever they need to move the chains. So who do you think steps up in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for Claypool. I want to see his impact on his offense. It's second week in the offense. I'm not saying he should have the whole playbook down pat, but I want to see more production, more viability from him as an outside threat. And then in terms of other guys, I mean, I'm intrigued by Byron Pringle. I mean, this guy got off to a slow start, got that injury. It's been off a while, and this guy brings some toughness in the middle of the football field. And you saw that one play where Fields kind of improvised, things broke down, kind of pointed Pringle open and throw a nice, like sidearm throw and get a nice first down there. So I want to see Byron Pringle kind of get more involved here as well. And then in terms of just production, again, just get the ball down the football field. Just move the chains, keep the ball there, and keep your defense off the football field is what I'm trying to do here offensively.
All right, the second half just kicked off. We'll be with you as soon as the clock hits triple zeros. Danny Shimon, myself, and we'll see who else joins us. We'll see you after the game, everybody.